might help if I actually added myself to the screen, mightn't it? How are we all doing? I'm just checking that my audio is going through because I didn't have a chance. Yes, it is. Good, good, good. Didn't have a chance to check it before we went live. How are we all doing on this lovely Sunday evening here at Veg Grower Podcast HQ? It's been incredibly cold today. Incredibly cold. But I camped out in the camper van last night and we had a heavy frost. I was frozen to say the least. I finally have just warmed up. Hence why I'm wearing a hoodie inside this shed. But today we're hopefully going to escape the cold blues and think about somewhere tropical and hot. And I want to know what 5 seeds you would want to take on a desert island with you. First of all, let's see if anybody is actually out there. So straight away, yes, Ballycillian allotment land. Good evening, Richard, and all present. Good evening to you. Adrian is out there. Good evening to you. Hope you are well. Oracle is out there saying, anyone see me comment? I can see that one. I can't see one before that, but that's the first one I could see. Idaho Garden Girl there. Hello to you. Hope you are well. Turbo Stream is out there as well. Anybody else? Jenny is out there. Good evening to you. Hello, everyone. I hope you are well and had a great week. Indeed, indeed. Anna Jones is out there. Evening, gardeners. Good evening to you. Hope you are well. Jenny says apparently last week, if I can bring her comment up. There we are. Jenny says apparently she had the same trouble last week, Oracle, but I could still see it. So don't know what's going on. I can still see yours, Oracle, the mad world of YouTube. I got a feeling today is going to be one of those technical difficulties nights. Who else have we got? Digwell is out there saying, Yowza, how are we all? I've got a fantastic video coming up from the legendary Digwell. A little bit later on. I'm just debating when's the best time to show it because this has made me chuckle a lot. Who else have we got? Anybody else? Kate Spratt is out there. Good evening, Veg Army. Good evening to you. Stuart Jackson is out there. Evening, Richard and the Veg Army. Good evening to you. Richard Golden is out there. Hello, all. Hope you're well. Good evening to you. Nicola is out there. Evening, all. Good evening to you. Hargrave Gas is out there. Evening, everyone. Hope you've had a great week. Getting really chilly now. I don't like it. No, I'm certainly did feel the chill today. It certainly has dropped. Chili Kate is out there. Evening, all. Beautiful autumn weekend here. Good evening to you. My dad's out there. Good evening to you. Nicola's out there. What a week. Evening, all. Good evening to you. What's happened to make it such a week? Do feel like there's a story there. Anna Jones says, love the hoodie. Yeah, he's available on the veggrowerpodcast.co.uk. This is a large size. If anybody's wondering what the large looks like, fits me nicely. But if it was to be baggy, I would probably want to size up. Well, who else have we got? Nicholas says, had a roller coaster ride this week with a very poorly puss cat. No gun. Very sorry to hear that, Nicola. Hope your cat is okay and it's nothing serious. Nothing worse than hearing animals in pain, I think, or in trouble. Richard Golden says, your picture's not looking so good. And then goes on to say, never mind. Not sure what's happening there. Not sure. It's probably, I think my signals are struggling. It just seems to have bounced back. I was having connection issues. So hopefully that's sorted itself out. Idaho says, make sure to set the chat on live chat, not top chat. I think that does make a difference if you want to see all the comments. David Williams, hi all. First time I've managed to make the live in a long time. Lovely to see you, David. And thanks so much for your comments last week. Really did mean a lot. Anyway, so let's get on with the show. So this week I've set you all a little bit of homework. I wanted to know what 5 seeds, that's 5 seeds you would take vegetable seeds, that is, that you would take to a desert island with you? And this is a question that, slightly like desert island discs. Just feels this is a slightly different take on it. So over to you guys. Let me know what seeds you would take to a desert island. Now, I have been racking my brains trying to think of what would be suitable. We don't know how long we're going to be on this desert island for. We don't know what's going to happen while we're on the seed. So I have been thinking, and the first thing I've got on my list is potato. I think everybody eats potatoes. It's probably a great survival food. If you're on a desert island, you can plant one potato and you end up with quite a few at the end of a season. There's a reason that in the film The Martian, if anybody has seen it, they used it. In fact, you could take that one potato, cut it into three, and end up with 3 potato plants. But of course, there's a bit of working out how to save the seed for the following year. Of course, you've got to store them correctly. Desert island is going to be a bit difficult for storage, but I think it can be done. Now, Turbo Stream says, not been on the plot much this week, taking some time away from it to do other things. It is starting to quieten down, to be fair. I have been on the allotment yesterday. I was really pleased to get down on the allotment, actually. Built a new bed on the allotment, so things are moving on. So, yeah, managed a bit of time on the allotment. Jenny says, I've not managed to get outside much. It's still breathless, but it's looking very sad and dying back. Tidy up next week. See, I always think the dying back and it's autumn. It's autumn. The change of colours, I think, is amazing. So, for example, we have this climber that climbs over from our neighbours, and usually it's green. It grows really big. Today, I've noticed it suddenly turned red, and it must have turned red today because yesterday it was still green. But I think the colours are just amazing. So yes, it might be dying back, but the colours make it worthwhile. David Williams says Belotti beans, tatties, tomatoes, chilies, and yeah, I think a lot of people were struggling with the fourth one from what I've seen, or trying to find out what was there, or trying to narrow that list down. Turbo Stream says first seed I chose was beetroot. You get 2 crops off them. That's a good idea. Beetroot, yes, I was thinking along those lines as well, funnily enough. But yes, beetroot. Of course, you get the actual beetroot itself, but you can also eat the leaves while it's growing. And of course, if you can leave some to go to seed, you end up with quite a few seeds as well. So you can make that last for next year's crop as well. Kate says, my top 5: potatoes, tomatoes, carrots, courgettes, and green beans. That's a very interesting choice, actually. Very, very interesting choice. You can make a curry out of that, potato curry with courgette and green beans and carrots. So may need a bit of spice, but yeah, I think good ideas. Good ideas. Now, Nicholas says kidney decline was on the point of have to consider whether this cat have to put to sleep. Few days in hospital on antibiotics, curled up on a sofa like a limpet. Bless him. Bless your little cat. I love it. Love it. Love your animals. It's such a hard thing when they go through illness, isn't it? Anna Jones says, my first and second are runner beans and French beans. Tasty, easy to grow, high yielding, full of vitamins, save your own seeds and make good compost. Real winners. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, funnily enough, my second is beans as well. On my after potatoes, I've got beans as my second on the list because, like you say, you can harvest them and eat them when they're young. You can leave them to dry and then you cook them from dry later on, but also save those seeds when they are dry to sow next year. So benefits all round. Digwell, don't forget that if it is a tropical desert island there will be no cold season, so many veg will grow all year round. Indeed, things like chilies and tomatoes in their natives are in fact perennials, so they grow all year round. I could do with a trip to a desert island. That's all I'm going to say. Ballycillian says potato, onion, carrot, swede, and can I cheat and take a fruit? Chili. Yeah, that's allowed. Chili is allowed. Absolutely good idea. I'm quite surprised about swede though. That's an interesting one to choose. But good. But if that's what you take, that's what you take. Nicholas says sugar snap peas, indeed. And David said carrots would be my last. Good ideas there, indeed. Idaho says it's a desert, so I'm not sure how much rainfall or how often. I live in a desert, and without my well, I would be left high and dry. Well, if you know how to make a solar still, you can still get water from the sea, is what I would say to that. And so there's a supply of water. You can grow all year round, is what I would say. Second seed was lettuce all year round. Good choice. Good choice as well. I do like a lot of lettuce. I do eat a lot of salads, so I think that has to be an important thing. Ballycillian does say desert islands can have running water. Indeed, they can. Indeed, they can. Rebecca says, good evening, all. Good evening to you, Rebecca. Lovely to see you. Oracle says, spuds, tomatoes, lettuce, carrots, cabbage, all reseed. Good idea. Good idea. If you choose a bean, you can eat young and dry. You just need to pick one. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. That's why I've gone for a bean as well. Nicholas says gigante beans. Hope I pronounced that correctly. Stuart says my top 5: potatoes, beetroots, carrots, board beans, and rocket. Beetroot and carrots, two crops. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Trying to get 2 crops out of it, I think, is a good idea. Try and get food growing all year round in this. Jenny says quinoa for seed, porridge, and flour. There we go. Great idea. Beans for fresh or dried. Tomatoes, fresh or sun-dried. Absolutely. Sweet potatoes for the tubers and leaves. Good idea there. Didn't think of sweet potatoes. And easy to propagate from slips. Courgette, as always, lots. You know, Jenny, 2 things I didn't even think of: quinoa and sweet potatoes. Good idea. Chili Cake says chilies, obviously, courgettes, my favorite veg to grow, potatoes to fill you up, carrots so versatile, and probably some sort of beans for sustenance. Good points. Idaho says, is the island tropical? Yeah, I think we'll call it tropical. It could be any island in your imagination. Hargrave, I'm going for green beans, tomatoes, courgettes, peppers, and potatoes. I forgot onions. That makes it 6. It can only be 5 at the moment. But my selection was natural resources. Fish and coconuts means I can make fish pies, stews, and curries. Excuse me. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was thinking of. Like, I went for chips so I could go and hunt down some fish and try and get some oil somehow and make fish and chips on the beach. Absolutely lovely. Third seed was leek. I'm useless at growing onions, so they can be used instead. Actually, leek is a good idea. Very good idea, because you can, again, leave leeks to seeds and you get hundreds of seeds from a couple of plants. You can eat them when they're young and small or leave them to grow when they're big. So leek is a good choice. Andy Jones, my number 3 and 4 are lettuce and tomato. Staple summer grub with no cooking. Tastier and fresher than from the shops. Good ideas. Good ideas. So, as I said, my second one would be beans. And I think my third one is going to have to be tomatoes. I do like tomatoes, obviously, and they're used so often in cooking in our kitchen. And if we can store them, we can dry them out. We can do whatever we want with these tomatoes and turn them into curries and things as well. Oracle has just said this, just slightly threw me for a minute. No spanning in today or calls. No, you can. Let me just find the thing. I've just realised I haven't put my ears in. So if you do want to call in, the phone line is open on 07307 135 174. Hopefully the phone is working. And if you want to zap in, I'm going to put that up right now as well. Let me just put my ears in quickly as well, because I forgot to do that, because I completely forgot about the phone, if I'm honest. Turbo Stream, fourth was potato, multi-uses. Yeah, I mean, potato to me just seems like an ideal plant to take, an ideal seed, because we can grow them and make them lost. Oh, we have a caller. Hello, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
It's the Oracle.
Hello, Oracle, and how are you today?
I'm not good at this taping, Richard. That's why I thought I would phone.
Oh, what's up?
Sorry, I just told them to say, see what they're all putting on there. They're 100% right. You take a vegetable that would reseed so you could live there as long as you want.
Yeah, I agree with that. I totally agree with that. We want to try and make this last us for as long as possible, don't we?
Yep, and I would put a spin on it too. I would bring 5 of your viewers as well. Number one, dig well, do the cooking.
Yeah.
Cook anything. Number two,
Turbo
Stream. He always likes to be in the middle of it. You get a bit of a laugh. 3, Muddy Boots.
Yeah.
Number 4, Stuart Jackson. I would bring him for his growing knowledge.
Yeah, excellent.
And number 5, you'd have to bring Billy Son. He just mentioned that there. Curry the stew. The belly's rumbling. Miller will be busy this week making one.
Oh, yes. Good choices. Good choices.
I would just like to say, I don't know if anyone remembers, but there used to be a famine. It would have been Ireland, where we were from.
Sorry, say that again.
There was a famine one time in Ireland. I don't know if you ever were taught that.
Oh, yes. I do recall that.
And that's where these Irish Americans came from. They all had to emigrate.
Yes, of course. Yes. Great potato famine, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Hopefully that didn't kick off in the deserted island.
Well, I'm hoping the deserted island is going to be so dry that we're not going to get blight.
Well, that's another thing that could come into play.
Yeah.
I just thought I would put a spin on it and bring 5 years.
Yeah, no, that's a good spin.
The only reason why I didn't bring you was what's the wrestling meant to do? The show wouldn't be able to go ahead because you're getting winter now access on it.
I've got a show to do each week, so I can't go.
Exactly. You have to keep the rest of the viewing public in play there.
Exactly right. Very right.
I just think, hope the wrestling put the wee spin on there and bring 5 viewers on too, just to see what they all come up with.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one to add a spin on a bit later on as well. Yeah, no, thank you. That's a good idea.
I named the 5 now. We'll see what the wrestling come up with.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
The reason for bringing them.
And the reason, yeah, that always always the reason is always important.
Well, not follow each other.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm on the issue. Did Stuart Jackson ever get that poetry sorted out? Because he couldn't bring that to the desert island with him. That'd be cheating.
I think he's waiting till the right time to do it, if I remember correctly.
See if he gets to go ahead now, and he gets the tree wash and all in. He can have it all sitting ready to go.
Yes. He is in the chat, so he may be able to answer. If he comes up, I'll put it on the screen.
Thank you very much, Richard. And God bless, son.
You too, my friend. You take care.
I'm in the middle of doing this wee letter for you to read out.
Oh, fantastic.
To get to know the viewers.
Get to know the viewers, yes. I haven't got one this week, so I'm desperate for some.
Don't be worried. I'll be on the post for you very soon.
Lovely.
All right, Richard, son.
All right, you
God
lovely.
Bless.
Take care.
God bless.
All the best. Take care, my friend. Bye. There we go. That was Oracle there. Oracle, yeah, 5 viewers. I didn't think of that little spin and why. But good choices again. And potato famine, that does make you. I think a lot of us are talking about taking potato, but of course, potato blight did cause a potato famine. And that could be the problem. This is why when I was thinking about this question as well, trying to mix up the different families. So potatoes are from one family, then I've got the legumes with the beans. My third choice is going to be my cut and come again salad leaves, because again, I like to eat salads all year round. They go nice with a bit of fish or something, and I can leave some to seed to keep growing. So cut and come again salad leaves is my third choice. Where was I? TurboStream says fourth was potato, multiple uses. David says, would I be allowed to take an egg on the hope it would turn into a chicken? Yes, I would allow that, but I don't think it's going to turn into a chicken. But that would be one of your 5 taken up there. I may swap the rocket for spring onions. That's a good choice as well. Spring onions, the right varieties can grow all year round. And TurboStream says, coming in at number 5 is field beans. Adds manure and fixes nitrogen to the soil, plus the top has the greens and the beads in a leek stew. Good idea. Good idea is field beans. They are edible. The tops are certainly, but then all beans fix nitrogen. So I'm going to stick with my normal green beans or French beans for that same reason. But we can still use them to add nitrogen to the ground. Digwell says, love it. I think that's in reference to Oracle's 5 people he would want to take with him. David says, potato farming, was it blight that caused that? Yes, it was. If I remember correctly at the time, there was only one variety of potato that was being grown, and that got wiped out with blight, and that's where the issue was. That's my recollection on history anyway. Digwell says, just a thought, can we take seeds at all with Brexit? Brexit will probably still be going on, but yes, we these are 5 seeds that you've taken because of just in case. Doesn't the island have Wi-Fi, Rich? Not going in. If it has Wi-Fi, then all well and good. I can go. David also says there's places to hide seeds. Stuart says, waiting on money for the pear tree. Needs to be done properly. Hopefully be done this winter. There we go, Oracle. You're asking about the pear tree. Just waiting on the finances to get that done. Right. I'm so excited because I've been sent this video from Digwell, and I think this is just the right time to share it. And it's so brilliant. I'm just going to get rid of the overlay quickly because this video is so brilliant. I want you all to see it. Here we go.
You're right, guys. How's it going? Welcome to Digwell's Paradise. I've been stuck here for a week now. The yacht went down and, well, here I am. What a lovely beach. And I tell you what, it was lucky I brought some seeds with me. I can hear you asking, what seeds did I bring with me? Well, here we go then. Number 1, the good old potato. Loads of carbs and starch. Gives you a balanced diet. With all this protein around, I need a bit of carbohydrate, you know. And you can do so much with them. You can mash them, you can chip them, you can boil them, anything you want. And don't forget as well, that one tiny seed spud, you can grow at least 10-20 kilograms of food and save the seed spuds for growing again next year. Brilliant. And second on the list, sweet corn. Difficult to grow at home, but here I am basking in the sun. It's going to grow all year round. Sweet corn is rich in vitamin C as well as carotenoids, and so corn is very good for your eyes. And you're going to need sharp eyes for looking out for those rescue ships. Not very productive in the first year, but just think, each cob, 150 seeds, and with the second year I will have fields of corn as far as the eye can see. Next up, I don't like to say this one. Oh well, beggars can't be choosers, can they? Kale. It's on my list for survival. You've got to eat to survive. There's no point liking it or not liking it. You just got to hold your nose and eat it. Lots of fibre, iron, vitamins A, C and K. It's got more calcium than milk, and it provides excellent cardiovascular support. It's also a natural anti-inflammatory and very rich in antioxidants, which is very good because there's not much chance of me finding a doctor on the island, apart from the one in my dreams. Oh yeah. So next on the list, beans. They got to be dwarf beans, no point reaching up, and dwarf beans tend to crop a bit quicker as well. Beans give you lots of fibre, and you'll need lots of fibre to move all that protein out of your bowels, all those fish and armadillos and tree frogs. Yeah, you've got to get them out. And there's nobody around to complain about the after effects either. And don't forget, you can dry the beans, so when the next hurricane wipes out your food stocks, you've still got something to eat. And last but not least, this is a tough one, this. There were so many things I wanted as a bit of joy, a bit of remind me of home. Tomatoes, bit watery, not much. Anyway, cut a long story short, I've gone for turmeric. It's a wonder plant. It'll purify the blood, remedy skin conditions, so I'll heal quicker from all those bastard mozzie bites, you know. It's good for the heart, liver and lungs. It soothes pain, and it reduces inflammation. And to cap it all, it's antimicrobial and it's got antioxidant properties to boot. Winner all round. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I've got to get going. I do miss having an iron though, no electric. Don't ask how I managed to charge my phone. See you when I get back.
How did you charge your phone? I've got to ask, how did you charge your phone? Hope you had a good trip, Digwell. That was absolutely brilliant, I've got to say. I hope everyone else enjoyed it. I can see Kate is saying, oh my goodness, Digwell is fab. Brilliant video. Nicola says, Digwell, your seagull woke my puss cat up. Jen's Garden Adventure has joined. Good evening to you. Hope you're well. Jenny says, Digwell, this is amazing. David has come up with a good point. You could make a fishing rod out of the sweet corn trunk as well. Very, very good point as well. What else have we got? David also says, brilliant, Diggs. What a man. Brilliant, Mr. Digwell from Ballycillian. Turbo Stream says, ha ha ha, brilliant. Digwell never fails. Hargrave Gas, brilliant video. Stuart Jackson says, love the hoodie. Thank you very much. veggrowpodcast.co.uk. It's in size large. This is the Halloween logo, only available during October. Same as the mug. Not that I'm promoting it or anything, but it's got to be done. Brilliant at Digwell. Stuart says, Digwell, great stuff. Absolutely. This is what brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It came through the other day and I had to email Digwell straight away and say how brilliant it was. I literally sat there laughing my pants off at it because it was so good. Fantastic. But I meant to bring in my turmeric plant to show everyone just how well turmeric actually grows and what it looks like, because I've had it growing for several years now. Interesting choice with turmeric. I actually put down as my third choice a type of herb. I wasn't sure whether parsley or coriander, but I'm thinking probably coriander would go down better with what I suspect will be available fish. So that's my third choice, coriander. Add a bit of flavour, bit of sprinkling. Seeds are edible as well, of course. So, yeah. Digwell says, thank guys, the long nights just fly by in my house. Yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it, Digwell. It was brilliant. Margaret Peacock says, very funny indeed. David Williams says, I bet. I'm not sure. Nicholas, where did you buy it from, Richard? The veggrowerpodcast.co.uk and click on shop and you'll find it there. That's where it came from. You can get it in any different colors. This is size large, so I usually buy large clothes anyway. So as you can see, it fits me nicely. There is a size guide on the bottom, if I remember correctly, for the hoodies. Depends if you want it a bit baggier or not. Entirely up to you. Oh, not the hoodie. Sorry. Sorry, Nicola. What turmeric? Is that what you are? Right, yeah, the turmeric. Turmeric. Where did I buy it from? Where did I buy it from? I brought it from a show, Chili Fiesta, if I remember correctly. When I went there, it's probably 5 years ago now. And every year we just harvest a little bit of a root, leave the rest in the soil, in the pot, and leave it to grow. And it comes back year after year. The same as my ginger, which also came from the same place. And we get quite a bit of ginger from it nowadays. So well worth growing garlic, turmeric and ginger if you can as well. Imbedos said parsley would go well with fish. It would. But I just thought coriander, I could also use the seeds and make coriander powder or coriander seeds at the same time. So I'm sticking with coriander as my third choice. What? Oh, hang on. Did I say tomatoes already? Oh, yeah, I've said tomatoes. Sorry, coriander was my fourth choice. That leaves me with one more. And I want you guys to try and persuade me what this one last one should be. Present your case to me for what one is I should take with me as my fifth choice. At mine, we got potatoes, we've got French beans, we've got tomatoes, and we've got coriander. That leaves me with one. Put your case down for what it should be and try and persuade me to what it could take. Chili Kate says, funny, we were just talking about trying ginger and turmeric to go with our lemongrass. Yeah, they're not, ginger and turmeric, they're quite easy to grow, but I treat them as an indoor plant. They grow on the windowsill of our kitchen and they keep coming back and back. They're just difficult to, they die back. Oh, somebody's texting me. They die back at a weird time. So when they come back, you sort of think it's died, but then it comes back and it dies June time and then comes back around August. So in the middle of summer, when you think it's all dried up and died back because it hasn't had enough water, then it comes back. So yeah, it's a bit of a funny one in that regard. Nicola, Shopbot turmeric ribosomes will grow in pots. Yes, indeed they will, if you can get hold of some. David Williams says chili flavors everything. I do like chilies. And again, you can get from lots of those chilies that can be dried, can be added to things. Lots of seeds. Chili seeds can be used as well. You're tempting me. My only thing is we're on a survival mode. So chili would be nice, but is it necessary survival? David says ginger you can grow from shop bought. Just look out for the eyes. Indeed you can. Yes, you've got to look out for, it's got like a different color on the chunk of ginger if you want to grow that. But yeah, not just Green Fingers UK bloggers joins. Lisa, recently seen on Gardener's World. Sorry I'm late. Hope everyone is okay. I was in Devon last week and got back Friday and we all tested positive for COVID. Feeling poorly, but so missing my plot. I would take coriander, lettuce, Brussels, interesting choice, Brussels, tomatoes and courgettes. Courgettes because on a desert island they would produce loads all year round and I wouldn't run out of food. A lot of people are saying that about courgettes. It's not a bad idea. Anna Jones said, my last would be potatoes. That's runner beans, French beans, tomato, lettuce, and potatoes. Good choices. Very good choices. Potatoes is definitely one that I would be growing. Chili Kate says, courgettes, quick to crop and very prolific. You could get a meal a day from only one or two plants. Yeah, good choice. So courgettes are probably more likely to be a survival food on this desert island, this tropical island. Yeah, you're starting to persuade me. Brian's Garden and Polytunnel. Hi all. Hello, Brian. Brian, we are asking what 5 seeds would you take to a desert island in honor of Desert Island Discs? Let us know what 5 you would take. David Williams, parsley would go well with fish, not as well as chips. Yeah, we got to have chips. Got to have chips. Idaho, pumpkins are survival food. Pumpkin. Good choice, pumpkin. Very good choice, pumpkin, actually. I was starting to think about pumpkin or butternut squash even. Although Stuart Jackson says, how about apple as your number 5? You could juice as well as eating. That's a good point. That's a very good point. We could you need to make things to juicy apples though, and that's going to be a bit hard to do on a desert island without a drill or anything. But it would be nice to have some different flavour or something other than just plain water. You're calling on the wrong number, Lee. Hang on. He's calling on the wrong number. If you are watching, you called on the wrong number. You want, oh, let me bring that thing up. That's the number. If you are watching, I just saw you calling 07307 135 174. Turbo Stream says apples mean cider. That's good point. That's a good point. Might help. But then coconuts mean rum, if I remember correctly, as well. Or potatoes could be vodka. This goes on. This goes on with this. At this point, I'd just like to ask you if you could give this show a like, a thumbs up, a follow, a subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification so you know when we go live. I'm a bit afraid to touch my phone just in case I lose the connection with the server. So again, Lee, if you are watching and you just called in, 07307 135 174. Just checking. The phone should be working. We had a phone call earlier. Oh, I'll deal with that in a minute. Nicola's given a thumbs up. What's that about? Now, when Oracle rang in earlier, he posed a question about what 5 gardeners would you take to this desert island, or 5 people in the group. And I find that a really difficult question to answer, because in all honesty, I would want to take you all with me. So I'm really struggling when he asked that, or posed that question as well, with which 5 I would want to take. I don't think I could choose. I really don't think I could choose. Yeah, good. It was a good question, that though. Good question, that. So, coming back to this my fifth one. I'm leaning at the moment towards butternut squash or pumpkins. Jen's Garden Adventures, 5 seeds for desert island. Kale, because it can grow for so long. Yeah, good choice. Beans that can be eaten fresh or dried. Yep. Potatoes can be stored. Tomatoes, salad mix, lettuce should be wild fruit there. There should be wild fruit. Yep. There could also be snakes and wild pigs and stuff on that as well. So there's plenty of other resources. These are just for your own, what you would take. This is so you have a better chance of surviving or thriving. Quinoa stalks would also make great firelighters, and you could weave the stems of sweet potatoes to make harvesting baskets. I like this. I like this thinking, Jenny. I didn't have much success when I grew quinoa, so I'm interested with that. Jerusalem artichokes, however, they make good firelighters as well. And that's another. Would Jerusalem artichokes? Who would take those? Does anybody out there actually eat Jerusalem artichokes? Margaret says, I would definitely take Digwell. We wouldn't stop laughing and eating, indeed. David, squash is similar to potato, though. It is, but it can store a little bit differently. And it's from a different family, so you got more chance on it surviving. Yeah, David says I'd survive on chili stews. Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of stews going on here. I don't know how we're going to cook this stuff on this island, but I'm sure we can come up with something. Turbo Stream, is there any wild foraging on the island? Seaweed can be eaten, if I recall. There will be wild foraging, yeah. As we've said, there'll be fish in the sea, so we will be eating those. trying to make the most out of that and whatever there is on the island, coconuts, etc., etc. But it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed that all these things are going to be on the island. So everything else that we are growing is what is going to be guaranteed. I mean, I'd love it if there was pineapples on the island as well. And fish I caught from Digwell's leftover sweet corn stalks. Indeed, indeed. Stuart Jackson says 5 people to take with us. Of course, we will be on the island, so we would need a doctor, a chef, a dentist, a fisherman, and a good forest school teacher. That's a very pragmatic way of thinking about it. I definitely agree we would need the doctor, yeah, and the dentist, and the chef, and the fisherman, and the forest school teacher. Yeah, good point, good point. Brian's Garden and Polytunnel says potatoes, yes, for chips, dwarf beans so I can reach them, carrots for the sugar content, cabbage because I like it, and tomatoes for a bit of luxury. Again, good choices, and I can see that all going well to make a nice sort of stew as well. Don't forget you can call in 07307 135 174. Turbo Stream says, hopefully coconuts are growing along with wild berries. I'm just going to check the phone is working. It is. It should be. Yeah, hopefully they are. I don't know if coconuts are available all year round. That's something I don't know, but it's all they are going to be on this island. We'll put it like that. This subject reminds me of a TV show, Robinson Crusoe. I watched as a kid. I always think Robinson Crusoe was the book, wasn't it? I don't remember the TV show, probably a bit before my time. But wasn't there a film as well? Could be wrong. We would all be together on the island, so we would not need good Wi-Fi, Stuart says. Yeah, I'll have to do this live for everyone. Jenny says, dig a hole and light a fire, let it burn down and fill with sand. The heat stores underground and the sand conducts heat. There we go, Jenny. Yeah, your survival skills are coming out. Yeah, there we go. We're figuring out a way to cook everything. David says, hope it's not the Isle of Man. You know, it could be the Isle of Wight. Oracle, does Stuart know a good forest school teacher? Come on, folks. It's full of laugh. We won't fall out with each other. Yeah, indeed. Yes, Robinson Crusoe was a series. I thought it was a book before it was a series. Somebody would be able to tell me. I'm thinking. No, I can't think of a title of the book I'm thinking of. So, but if it was a TV series, I don't remember watching it in all honesty. Yeah, interesting stuff. Now, we have had a few photos that have been sent in. So I'm going to go through those quickly because I think it's always good to see everyone's photos and what's going on everyone's plot. So Idaho Garden, each week she is sending us in a shot of her garden. This is how it's looking this week. Looking very, very lush. Lots of foliage going on there. A lot of cabbages I can see in it as well. Stephen has also been busy on his plot. He's been putting in his garlic, sowing that. And as you can still see, there's still lots going on in the ground there. Very, very neat looking plot he has here. Steve is asking if this is blight. I've got to admit, in this photo, it doesn't look very obvious, but around the tomatoes, there's some very definite signs of blight. I thought we had escaped blight this year, but it seems to have come in very, very late, just as this rain has came in. Stuart has got droopy rhubarb, which is a sign that it's starting to withdraw into itself and start to try and store itself throughout the winter. What I always advise, I don't harvest rhubarb after August. Try to let it store some of that energy into that crown to see it through the winter. And that's exactly what it's going to do and provide us with rhubarb next year. Chris is asking how to ripen all these tomatoes. It's tried bananas, but doesn't seem to be working as well. All I can say is hang them up in the sun. What I would have done, the technique I know of, is to upend the tomatoes or the plant themselves and hang them upside down to try and ripen all those tomatoes. As they're already picked, I think you're going to have to lay them in the sun on a sunny windowsill somewhere warm, and they should soon start to ripen. Or you can use them for green tomato chutney and things like that. Kate has had a garlic delivery. Her order from the garlic farm has came through. Interestingly enough, got my email saying that I'm receiving mine on Monday as well. So I think pretty soon we'll be getting our garlic into the ground. David has had lots of apples, as you can see in these two huge boxes on the screen right now. I'd love to have that many apples. It's been a very, very, very good year for apples this year. It's got to be said. There's been quite a few of them. Nicola, she's been updating us on the chicks, and this is a photo of how the chicks are looking the other day. Starting to feather out and start to look like they are growing up. How lovely are they? Obviously, with the cat, things have taken a slightly different turn now, and we wish Nicola all the best with the cat. And finally, from Jenny, this little comedian passed. I garden so I don't choke people. Save a life, send mulch. I thought that was a good little joke to have at the end of the photos, of course. Right. So Brian says, yes, it was a book first. I thought it was a book. I'm sure I've read the book. Bloody hell, mate. I have that Robinson Crusoe tune stuck in my head. I'm not familiar with a TV series, so I can get away with it. The book was by Daniel Defoe. I thought it was. Yes, I'm sure. Yeah, I've definitely read the book. Robinson Crusoe TV show was in the 1970s. That's why I don't recall it before my time. I think we had a TV series called Swiss Family Robinson. I have a vague recollection on that, but again, I think that's to do with the book. Robinson Crusoe was on around the same time as Robin Hood. I don't think Robin Hood was before my time, I think. The TV series, if I remember correctly, was before my time. David, if it is blight, get a green tomato chutney done ASAP. Definitely is blight on that one. Also says cut out the manky bits and it'll be fine. I always worry about doing that with blight personally. But what you do with that is your own choice. Jen was given this Jen's Garden Adventures was given windfall pears last week. Made a cracking crumble with them. Fantastic windfall pears. My pear tree did absolutely nothing this year. No, that's not true. There was one on there, but it was so small and ruined, it wasn't worth growing. So I got rid of it. It was kinked, if I remember correctly. Pears, really disappointing this year. Just put the green tomatoes in a dark drawer with or without a banana skin. That's one way to do it as well. Yeah, that'll to get them to ripen. Put them in a dark drawer with or without banana skin, and they should start to turn as well. Jem was given. Oh, I've read that one already. Anna Jones says, great photos indeed. Turbo Stream, of course, Richard, you are wee whippersnapper. Yep, I'm afraid so. I think Crusoe was played by a young Richard Chamberlain, Dr. Kildare. I don't know. I'm bowing down to your superior knowledge on this TV show. As I say, I'm not familiar with it at all. The only thing that's going through my mind, I've got like an image in my mind, something to do with it, of a big, I'm sure it was something to do with Robinson Crusoe, but all I think of this big old water wheel that was part of their house and how they powered everything on the island. Now, I could be wrong if that's anything to do with that TV series, but that's all I've got going on in my head. I have a feeling that's more film, though. I've also got the Robinson Crusoe tune going around my head. I don't know it. Digwell says, I'll need to take a volleyball in case I don't find a Wilson. Yeah. Or you could do a coconut head, make it out of coconut, or I would make mine out of a spade or a scarecrow. A scarecrow, that's what we need. Scarecrow. That was Swiss Family Robinson, different series. Oh, what, the water wheel was Swiss Family Robinson. Right. Thank you. I'm glad somebody knows what I was thinking about. Jenny says, I cried when Wilson floats away. Indeed, yes. Yes. That was his lifeline. But that's a survival strategy. Gave him something to talk to, something to keep his mental health in order. I think that was the answer. David Williams says, "Oh, hum me the Robinson Crusoe tune. Do 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 do." Hope that helps. I have no idea what it is, so it doesn't help me at all. At all. Right. So this has been an interesting conversation. 5 seeds to take on a desert island, and everyone's, I've been really pleased with what everyone has said so far, because it's all about what can be edible and what we can take to help us on the island. So I'm going to throw a slight curveball in here now. I'm going to throw in that you can now add a 6th seed, but this seed has to be something that you can use to make something useful on the island. It's not about being edible. It's to help make something useful on the island. So for me, I've gone for, this is going to take a while to grow, but hazelnuts in order to grow a hazel tree. And that way I can then use the sticks from the hazel tree to grow pea sticks for growing my beans up. There's probably going to be bamboo on the island. So that might be a bit of a bad idea, but that's how I worked it out. Again, you can't guarantee there's bamboo on the island. We're just adding extra things. Digwell says, gonna need to watch iCastaway now. Yeah, it's a good film out with Tom Hanks. Bally said, might have done something wrong, but when I used a banana for ripening, I was tortured with fruit flies. That makes sense, in my opinion. I can believe you got tortured with fruit flies. They would be pretty drawn to it. Oh, I should have put my phone on silence. Apologies. Chili Kate, I potted a load of blackberry crowns. Then I took off my plot on a veg swap group and was surprised by the interest. I ended up digging up more. I got a huge bag of cooking apples in return. I potted a load of blackberry crowns that I took off a plot on a veg. Oh, right, yes. Amazing, isn't it? These swapping groups. It's amazing what you can get. Nicola says hemp seed. Good idea, actually. Not that I smoke or use hemp in any way, but hemp would be great for making clothes, netting, etc., etc. Good one there, Nicola. Straight off with a really good one, I've got thing. Turbo Stream says sweet corn stalks can be made into a shelter or a raft. David Williams also says 16 would be something that burns for a long time. Lisa says walking stick cabbage, use a top to eat and make a cane out of the bottom in case I hurt my leg. That's a very good idea, and I guess you could also use that walking stick to make a fishing rod as well, or possibly even a bow and arrow. I wonder if it'd be good for that. Stuart Jackson says elder tree so you can make juice and wine. Also use the sticks to make blowpipe for hunting. Elder tree, didn't think of an elder tree. Good idea, another very good idea. Jenny says loofah for washing, eating, fire lighting, fish descaling, etc. Good idea. Very good idea for loofah. Digwell says, I'll take peppermint to make oil. The oil repels rodents, spiders, and mosquitoes. Yeah, good idea. Good idea indeed. This is good idea. Brian says, won't need an extra seed if coconuts are growing. The nuts, as well as being edible, can be used for bowls or cups. The leaves can be used to make shelter. There's no guarantee there's going to be coconuts, but it's likely that they are there. It is a desert island, so there's a good chance they will be there, but just no guarantee. We need Ray Mears on the stream, a useful bloke to know. LOL. Personally, I would prefer Bear Grylls. I'm a big Bear Grylls fan. Anybody who's been in my house will see as they walk in a picture of Bear Grylls with a letter we got from him on our wedding anniversary. So Bear Grylls for me, but Ray Mears would also be just as good. I'm finding this really interesting that Jenny has came up earlier with some really interesting and different ideas that had completely threw me. Quinoa was one of them, and sweet potatoes, both of which would probably grow better in this area that we're talking about. Idaho says olives, get olives, olive oil, and olive wood. Good idea there indeed. Very slow growing olive, but yeah. I'm guessing in this sort of heat in a desert island, it's probably going to grow better. Excuse me. Stuart Jackson says willow would be good. You can use it for a shelter, a bow, a fishing rod. Yeah, willow. That's another very good one. Plus, you can take that willow plant, stick it, take cuttings, and it will grow pretty easily. So you can propagate more. But I also believe if you take there's something in the cadmium layer, so you peel back the bark and you scrape off the next layer from the willow tree, that can also be used as a rooting compound as well, if I remember correctly. As another idea, another good use for willow, actually, yeah. Digwell says the Bush Tucker Man from... Is it I'm a Celebrity that has the Bush Tucker Man? Is that right? I can't remember. I don't think I've ever watched an entire episode of I'm a Celebrity, to be certain. David says willow makes a brilliant fishing rod. Yeah, good point. It does make a good fishing point. Good film, Willow. Warwick Davies, sweet sequel out soon. Yes, I have heard that. I don't think I've ever seen the original film, though, I'll be honest, Willow. I believe it's coming out on Disney Plus soon, so I'll have to keep an eye out for that. As you can tell, I don't watch a huge amount of things on TV or film. I'm a bit lacking in that. Stuart Jackson says hazel is good for making charcoal as well as fishing rod. Also, you can eat the nuts or nut flour. That's one of the reasons I also went with hazel. You know, hazel has got a multitude of uses, and I use hazel a lot on the allotment. That's why I grow hazel. Chili Kate says rubber plant so you can make a dinghy. Good idea. Good idea. Just occurred to me, and I didn't think of this at the time. This picture from Jenny kind of goes in with what we're saying on this desert island. We're staying away from people on this desert island. I didn't think of that at the time. Jenny says, I would pinch some of Digwell's sweet corn to weave a bed. They make a thatched roof on a shelter. The leaves are also dry to weave baskets, bandages, bedding, etc. Hope you don't mind, Digwell. This is a great idea of where we're using all the other items that we are growing as well. Digwell says Bush Tucker Man was an Aussie TV series on surviving in the outback. Ah, right, okay. Never seen it again, so that's one I've learned today. I need to change one of mine for a coffee plant. I do like a coffee in the morning. The grounds are useful too. I've got a coffee plant indoors, actually. I'm going to be completely honest with you, Turbo Stream. I'm with you because I drink a lot of coffee. I couldn't function without my coffee. But if you've ever tried to grow your own coffee, it doesn't make a good flavor coffee at all. A lot of effort, a lot of plantation needed to grow coffee. But I get your point. And also use the willow to make baskets to catch crabs. Yeah, willow or hazel will be used for this, so that's why I've thrown the hazel in. Soap plant. You can eat the leaves and also make soap from it. I've never heard of this soap plant. I'm going to have to check that out later and see what it's all about. What about taking the Indian soap berry tree, as you can use the soap nuts to wash clothes, pots, etc., etc. Interesting. Indian soap berry tree. Never heard of that one either. Digwell says to Jenny, hands off his sweet corn. Anna Jones says sunflowers for sunflower oil for a good fry up. Good idea. Good idea. You're going to need that oil. So anywhere you can get it from will work. Hazelnut chocolate spread. Yeah, good idea. Sunflowers, yeah. Stuart Jackson says, what about sugar beet, or is it hard to grow? You probably find sugar cane in this area, to be honest. Not guaranteed, of course, but you might find sugar cane. The trouble with sugar cane is if you eat it, it does become very... It does give you a sugar crash if you haven't had it for a while. There are quite a few plants that can be used for soap. Well, you can also use fat and wood ash to make soap as well. Aspirin originally came from willow bark. That's another reason for willow. Obviously, we can all benefit Digwell. Bedding, etc. all round. I can't hunt, so I'll weave. Sharing is caring. You can buy soap nuts. I'll have to look those up. I've not heard of them myself. I have soap nuts to wash with. I've not heard of them myself, so I'm going to have to look into those. Now, add in an extra question. Adding an extra question to this as well. Let's say you're hunting or foraging on the island, and what one plant would you really, really hope to find to make your life so much better? One plant that you really want to find on this island to make your life that much better. For me, it's going to be the pineapple. I love pineapples. I could eat pineapple. I could eat a whole pineapple just for my dinner. I love it so much. And if I found a pineapple on the island, I would be very, very happy with that. David says, I always soak my nuts. Good one. Not just Green Fingers UK blog, wild garlic. Good one. Yeah, just that very good one. David says chili as one that he would want to find. There's a lot of chili coming for you, David, so I get it. Digwell says truffles. I can see why you would want it. I don't like them myself. Mushroom allergy, as I've said time and time again, so I stay away from those. Turbo Stream blueberry, interesting choice actually. Blueberry, very interesting choice, but I get why. I think one plant would be lemon, as you can add it to the fish. Good idea, lemon. Yeah. Coconut would make me happy to find. So many uses and great milk for quinoa porridge. Indeed, yeah. And Anna Jones says a Christmas tree. Oh, interesting. A Christmas tree. Find a Christmas tree on the island. Is that just to lift your spirits and make you think of Christmas? Interesting choice. If I found a chili, I'd take sweet corn. Yeah, I know. I've changed the criteria slightly by adding these other ones in. Brian's Garden Polytunnel would be no good me making soap with ash additive. I'll end up looking like Al Jolson. Who's Al Jolson? I don't have a clue who that is, I'm afraid. So if somebody could enlighten me, that'll go down well. But yeah, I know when I was into my survival at one point, and I was making I made soap out of wood ash and fat. In fact, I remember as scouts when we were cleaning pans, sometimes the ash would make their way into the pan and create soap as well. Interesting when that happens, bit of science going on there. Just checking, the phone line is open if you want to call in 07307 135 174. And if you want to zap in, the link is going up as well. Another plant, wheat or another grain, which would help with lots of meals. Does that say you can make bread? Does that say you can make bread? I've got to admit, if I was on this desert island, I'd be looking to stay away from bread. I would want to be going pretty much all natural in stuff that if I could pick it up and eat it, I would be happy. The paleo diet, I think they call it. Turbo Stream says I use the ash to clean my stove. I use the ash to feed my plants, funny enough. Great around tomatoes is a good source of potash. David says, Al Jolson, Mammy, how I love you, my dear old Mammy. Al Jolson. I don't know what that is reference to, I'm afraid. Yeah, sorry, I don't know who that is. But Brian does know. Digwell says, if I'm stuck on a desert island on my own, I won't be bothering to wash. Indeed. Yeah, I would be washing in the sea personally. But yeah, I take what you mean. Grain would help bulk out meals when food is short. Yeah, good point. I think we should move over. Al Jolson, a white man who used to black his face. Yep, let's move on. Turbo Stream. I used to ask on the plot too. Use ash on the plot too. Yeah. Good source. Digwell says he was a soul singer. Okay. Yeah, I think with what Margaret said, we'll move on from that person because I don't want to get in more trouble. I can't say I know him, so yeah. Anyway, back to this desert island. Has everybody out there actually shared with us the 5 seeds they would be taking? I know there's some people watching who don't always comment, and I'd love to hear 5 seeds you would want to take to a desert island. Please do share with us. Would love to hear it. As I said, my choices were potatoes, beans, tomatoes, coriander, and I've forgotten the 5th one. Butternut squash is what you got. Nobody suggested butternut squash, but pumpkins were suggested. That led me to butternut squash. Added to that, the sixth seed that is going to be useful for growing something for me was hazel. And then the plant I would want to find is pineapple. But what's interesting, a lot of people, as I said, what I find interesting, a lot of you guys said the potato seems to be a popular choice, which are good choices indeed. Stuart Jackson says, the more we chat, I keep changing my 5 seeds. What have you changed your 5 seeds to now, Stuart? Please do enlighten us. I'm sticking with my 5 seeds because I think they're good choices. I think they're suitable. And they will help us survive in a long time, I hope. Turbo Stream, there was a pumpkin on the sharing bench today, so I nabbed it to eat, not to carve. Good man. I do like, I don't like carving pumpkins personally. We grow pumpkins to eat. Idaho says, Chinkahona, I think I've said that, to make quinine. Not sure. I'm not sure I know what you're talking about there. Um, I've I've never heard of either of those, so that's very interesting. Uh, Brian's Garden Polytunnel. There are multiple ways to use the good old spud. Indeed, yeah, fish and chips and what have you. Rebecca says, "I'll take sweet corn, French beans, chilies, and lettuce because I can't live without pretty flowers. I'll take sunflower seeds, pretty, and I can eat them." Indeed. And what about one plant you would want to find on the islands, Rebecca? Love to find that out as well. Quinine is a cure for malaria. Oh, okay. Okay. Never heard of that. Ian says, what would you use as an oil for frying? I'm hoping we're going to find some either wild boar or wild deer on the island, and we'll render the fat down, make suet, and use that for frying. Sweet potatoes, sweet corn, onions, French beans, and garlic would be my new 5 seeds plus willow. And what plant would you want to find? What is the plant that has a white edible root? They always seem to find it on the desert island. On a desert island, you are talking about. I know the one. I know the one you're talking about. I cannot think what it's called. I want to say yams. It's not oca. It's not oca. It'll come to me at some point, so I'm going to come back to that. Olive oil from Idaho. Yep, olive, of course. Yep. People keep leaving apples at our sharing bench and going bad veg. I take them on compost. Yeah, there's no such thing as bad veg. Canners, the leaves would be very useful. Good point. Very good point there. That's something I don't think we all didn't think about. Although we could probably use sweet corn leaves as well. My kids carve an edible pumpkin once I've scooped out the fledge. Cannot bear carving pumpkins. I'm the same. What people do with their own lives and their own pumpkins is completely up to them. But I prefer to grow pumpkins to eat. It used to be an Indian tonic water. Gave it the blue shimmery haze. Yeah. What was that? Well, oh, the quinine, or however it's pronounced. Oh, Digwell says yam. Yeah, there's an actual name for it, isn't there? Yam. That's the white fleshy root that they tend to find on desert island with Bear Grylls quite often. Yam, yeah. The one plant I would want to find would be lemons. Yep, okay. Or taro root. There we go. Yes, taro root. There's another name. I think the yams and taro root are the same thing. Although yams can also be used for a number of different things. Turbo Stream says coconut oil for frying, coconut oil for cooking. I can't believe nobody has said peas yet. Funny enough, I did think about peas, and my thinking with peas was that actually you could grow them pretty much all year round if you save the seeds and keep replanting them. The trouble I was worried about with peas, is they do tend to struggle in the heat, so I was avoiding them for that reason. Yawning like a good one today. Margaret said taro. That's what we keep coming up with as well. Limes would be good to find, or licorice root. Can't stand licorice myself, but good choices. Licorice root or limes. Licorice fruit or lime. Yeah, I mean, I'd definitely like to find limes, providing they are limes. Of course, we've got to be careful we don't find any poisonous plants on this island as well, and that traps us into the trap of eating something that we really shouldn't eat. Excuse me, my nose is a bit blocked up. I don't know if anybody else has suffered today, but I think I was out camping last night. We had a fire going as well, and because it was so cold, I seem to have woken up a bit bunged up. Would be nice to find a nice orange tree, says Lisa. And Digwell says, if all you could find was licorice root, you'd eat it. Yeah, you're probably right there. I don't like the flavour of it, but if it's all there is, then yeah, I certainly would eat it. David says, love to find comfrey. Interesting choice, but I can see why you would choose comfrey. I can think of a use for the leaves straight away. And Brian says, see us later. Dinner is waiting. Enjoy your dinner, Brian. Hope it's something tasty. Willow is also good for toothache. You just chew on it, which helps. Yeah. I hate toothache, so that's probably a good point as well. I'd have to grow peas for the grandkids to pick when they come visit. Oh, yes, Ian, your grandkids are just going to come and visit you on the desert island just to pick your peas and leave you there. Did a survival course in the Navy and had to eat some questionable things. I've done a survival course as well, and also eaten some questionable things. All I would say is that some of the things that we ridicule the French for eating are actually pretty tasty. I'll leave it at that. You can leave it to your own imagination while I'm talking about. Turbo Stream, Meteor Peas from the Supporters Club are up. No seeds for this month yet via Royal Snail. Guess I will turn up ready for no. You haven't had yours either. I had an email from somebody who hasn't got their seeds. That's over a week. I know they were on strike for 2 days. Okay. Has anybody else had their seeds? That were posted last Friday. Driving me mad. I might not want to come back to Manchester. Yeah. Jenny says, I love the Halloween stickers on the sea packets. So Jenny's got the seeds. Good. Somebody has got them. I thought about Willow for toothache, but decided to get all mine kicked out to save the hazel. Indeed. Yeah, hazel is a good one. I was going to say I would want to find lemons, but how about plantain? Plantain might be the other one. Very useful and grow well in that climate. That is a good choice as well. Good. Rebecca's got her seeds. Only yesterday. They should have arrived. Ian's got my seeds on Thursday. I know they're on strike for 2 days, so I'm going to be a bit careful, of course. Kate, I got my seeds yesterday. And Hargrave Gas, I got my seeds yesterday. Ian's got his on Thursday, so amazing, isn't it? Amazing. Stuart, I haven't had my seeds yet, but I've only seen the postie once this week. They will be here very soon. Yeah, I hope so. Chili Cake, mine only arrived yesterday. First post delivery in over a week. Think it's just the strikes, Richard. I hope so. I was in a restaurant in Antigua in the early 80s and ordered mountain chicken. Turned out to be a huge toad. Yeah. That makes sense. Doesn't it? Mountain chicken, huge toad. Don't resend them. Oh yeah, don't worry. Jenny's, mine came yesterday. Plantain is lush. It is very nice, isn't it? Digwell says, did you get my tomato seeds, Richard? Not yet, but I'm sure they're on their way. It just seems like post is being very, very slow. Thank you though for sending those out. I'll let you know as soon as they arrive. I'm happy to wait as I'm still sowing last month's seeds. Yeah. Seeds are very slow. I do know this is obviously only for the seed supporters. Somebody is missing a packet of cauliflower seeds. I know that much. Whoever it is, please get in touch, because we had one left over, and I don't know whose they were. Digwell says they were sent on Wednesday. Hopefully they'll arrive tomorrow then, I hope. Just goes to show how slow Royal Mail is at the moment. I guess the strikes for 2 days has obviously caused a delay, so it's gonna. When's there another strike? Tuesday, isn't it? Richard, you're a Royal Mail person, if I remember correctly. Are you on strike on Tuesday, or was it Wednesday? Just Rebecca got her cauliflowers. Excellent. Quick question: tomato seeds. How is best to save them? I've got some drying on kitchen roll, which I'll move to paper envelope when dry. Is this okay? I would say yes. That is absolutely fine. It's how I would do it. I do tend to ferment off the jelly first in some water, and then dry them on the kitchen roll, and then put those in a paper envelope. And again, I keep mine in a fridge that I've got just down here, where I've also, that's where I keep all my seeds. The little packets of the desiccant stuff that you get when you buy electronics, and it always says "do not eat." I throw those in there as well, just to try and keep it a bit drier too. Every time I apply some sort of technology, those little packets come in use for a great number of things. But anybody else got any tips on that? Digwell says, I dry mine on coffee filters as they are easier to take off when dry. That's a good idea, actually. Coffee filters and easier to take off when dry. I've also just realised I haven't thought about a subject for next week. So if anybody wants to throw out a subject or something they would like to talk about next week, then please do shout it out in the final few minutes. I say I haven't thought about it. I've got a huge list of subjects on my whiteboard. I just haven't figured out which one to do next week. I'm sure we can think of something. The last Sunday on the month, which I think is the 30th, obviously clocks go back an hour the Saturday night. So particularly Idaho, who's in America, you may find that we go live an hour earlier because our clocks have changed. That's at the end of this month. But that show is going to be a bit of a Halloween special. So if anybody's got any ghost stories for Halloween I'd like to share, it'd be a ghost gardening stories, that is. Thought we could have a bit of a laugh with that. James Gunn, ways to store seeds over winter. There we go. That's what we'll do next week's. Next week's topic is going to be ways to store seeds over winter, or how you store seeds. And Stuart says how to keep your greenhouse warm without electricity or oil. I'm trying to save money this year. That's actually a very good subject. I think we'll do that soon as well. What about your goals or plans for next year? What you could do better? That's definitely one on my list for coming up as well. I'm thinking more December when it's a bit quieter for that, but actually we might do that into November. There we go. We've got quite a few subjects already figured out. I've got to make a note of those. I do like that idea, Rebecca. I do like that idea. I think we'll do that into November. Seed storage, greenhouse, and goals. There we go. Fantastic. Has anyone planned next season next year? I've got loads of notes made, does and don't, most seeds ordered. We will be discussing that in a future episode. And Rebecca is saying, write them all down. I'm writing them all down here. My notes on whiteboard as we go throughout the show. You'd be amazed how many whiteboards I have all over the place, I'm sure you can imagine. I love whiteboards because they are so convenient, especially when you've got a fridge in the shed for storing your seeds, and you can just use the magnets to put it on here, in theory. Early seed sowing and planning. Yeah, that'll be one for later on this year as well. Early seed sowing and planning. Early seeds. I'll put that down as well as we get in. Oh! I've just realised I haven't done a grow along this week. Apologies. I got to the end and I forgot to bring in the spinach and show you how that was doing that we sowed last week. We will do that next week. Apologies for that. Easy one, Rebecca. Spend less time watching podcast shows. It's still gardening. It still considers work, as far as I'm concerned. Stuart Jackson says, another great show, live show again. It's been great fun again this week. Indeed, it has. It's been really, I do like these fun shows that gets everyone thinking and talking. So this is where I want to build on this and build in the fun aspect of it as well. I've got to say again, I've got a big thank you to Digwell for his video he sent in about his seeds he would take on a desert island. The effort put into that, for what I saw, a huge laugh. Thank you so much. Thank you. That was brilliant. And this is the great way we want to go. Rebecca says, I've been looking for an allotment plot for next year, but sadly no one lets you have one if you don't live in their villages. And my tiny village doesn't have any allotment plots. So frustrating. Oh, that is annoying, Rebecca. There's an article I was reading the other day that allotments are in high demand. But your local council has to supply an allotment if there is demand for it under government regulations. I will email you after the show, Rebecca, and find the relevant I'll find the relevant documentation. As David said, question why there isn't one, because I'm pretty certain it has to be. Been another great evening, Richard. Thank you. Retirement Stream said, thank you, Richard Norton, Chatterbox, as always. Jen says, fab show to catch up after a long break from YouTube. No, thank you for coming back, Jen. It's lovely to see you. Thanks, Richard and everyone. Another great week's chatting indeed. Rebecca, can you share with someone in another village their name, but you share? That's an idea. Rebecca, I will email you after this show and find the relevant information out about that, because that is frustrating. Absolutely frustrating, I know. Right. I think we are coming to the end. Digwell, if your village hasn't, then the area should provide the facility. That's what I thought. Yeah. Jennings says, great night tonight. Good laugh. See you all next week. Take care. Rebecca says, there is some in our council area, but so far away, I didn't really want to have to drive to it. I understand that. I spent an hour driving to my old allotment. It's not fun. It's not fun. David says, nice to spend time here with live for a change. Thanks, Ono. Thank you for coming along, and thank you to everyone else for coming along. This has been a lot of fun as always. I'm really liking doing these live shows every Sunday. It really does bring in a lot of chat and a lot of laugh and have fun. As I said, we will be back again next week at 6 o'clock. So I hope and look forward to see you all again. So with that, time to go. Take care, guys. See you again next time.